Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Switzerland. And I'm reaching out to all of our brothers and sisters on the African continent. You're tuning into Black Hot Fire Radio, and you're listening to the Pan-African Bliss Show with your host, none other than Joby.
Yes, good afternoon, Grand Rising. 47 minutes past the top of the hour. Karibuni sana to another beautiful episode of the Pan-African Bliss Show. My name is Joby. To the first-time listeners on BitChute, Rumble, everyone live with us on the radio station, to everyone live with us on YouTube. Hope you guys are doing amazing this wonderful morning and hope you're ready for the conversation. We shall be talking about Burkina Faso and what is happening despite, of course, the developments, the few changes we've seen. Of course, Ibrahim Traore.
It's fake, Joby. It's fake.
It's super amazing. What's fake?
The protests you see in France and Italy is fake. It's sponsored by the CIA. That's what they do. It's fake. That's why they're now focusing on even. They're not focusing on no. Ain't it funny? Why is America focusing now on Ibrahim Traore and Burkina Faso? They're not focusing on Ruto corrupt ass. They're not focused on Paul Beer corrupt butt. Tinubu corrupt. All these corrupt leaders in Africa who do nothing for the people but steal. Shout out to Kagame. I sent you a video. Kagame's over talking about all these African leaders that steal all the money. As if he's not one of them, and they're all puppets. I sent you the video of Kagame. I said, this is the video. This was Joby talking about Kagame. How he sound all good. He calling everybody else in Africa puppets and stealing the money, but himself. Right? Mm-hmm. But they're focused on Ibrahim because he's the danger. See, he's the danger of Africa really getting really free, and he's the danger of Africa getting back its real wealth. That's why you got all the youth in Africa are begging. Come to Burkina Faso and join his military. See, the youth know what's going on. Exactly. America, it won't work. Tell you now. Mm-hmm. You see, the old Negroes are dying. You know, the Joby's daddy and granddaddy, they don't matter. It's the youth. They know what's going on. And the wealth of the continent is going to go back to them. So they're asking all on social media, let's come join your military. They're not going to let you take this man down. Not gonna allow you to do it. It's all your fakes. These are called orange revolution. This is fake. This is how the CIA pays these poor Negroes in European countries to do a fake. This is all fake. This is all a fake protest, Joby. They go, oh, look at the rest of the world. Then why don't they protest them in his own country then?
We shall be getting into that. But of course, Karibuni once again on our top conversation, that is whatever Keith has mentioned. We have protests of the Burkinabe people who are in France, and leave alone even the question of why are they not going to other countries, to be concerned about the corruption that is actually happening in other countries like Kenya, what is happening in Haiti, what is happening in Congo,
because that corruption benefits them. That's why.
Exactly. So, but also we have the question of also, our people. And shout out to someone like Big Cheese. I love sometimes when he comes with with the question of how he fails to understand the mindset of our people, because this is just super shocking. This. Because most of these people actually.
It's not shocking, Joe. That's what they've all done. That's what they've done over and over again.
Let me finish.
Go
These
ahead.
people ran away from their country because of poverty, literally. You didn't run away from Burkina Faso because you had job opportunities, because you had chances of becoming a doctor or nurses and teachers, and you are denied this. You ran away because there was war, constant war. You ran away because there was constant killings of families. You ran away because there was no development in this country. Now you have someone who's developing your country, giving you the reasons of coming back, and is actually even welcoming literally every African, every diaspora, even the people who have not been here, who are taken away to slavery. Literally, you've been welcomed back. But you have someone who ran away. They have stayed there for a few years now. They think now, I'm part of France, the same thing we have been talking about, keeping just being factual. I don't know how you call them, what is the name you give them? No,
The
no, no, the bloggers.
pretendians.
The
Oh,
pretendians, exactly. The pretendians. You just a few 1 year or 2 years, 3 years of you living in France. You think now you're part of France. You think now you're, because I speak French, and now I belong here. Come on, we had that is what is the name of this lady, the singer? Yeah, Aya Nakamura. Yeah, she faced racism.
I Nakamura is the number one singer there. Yes, because he's black.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, the French don't accept you black people as French. You speak their language, they don't accept you as being French. If anybody's been to France, I have. I got a brother, the younger brother, still living there. I haven't seen in years. He still live. They don't accept you as French. They
It's
hate you.
This
So
is sad
then,
because
and the number one singer is I Nakamura. They don't accept her. She's singing in French. She's their biggest star. She's black. She's African. They don't accept her.
exactly. Exactly. It is sad to see the hatred again, what we've been talking about, the internal racism we have of each other, even no matter where we go. We've been so programmed in our mindset to hate each other to the point where, and then I feel like this is the poverty mindset. I call it the poverty
It
mindset.
is.
That you come from poverty, you escaped, you had some few dollars to get a passport and a visa, you went to France, you got a job, whatever job you're doing, it could be even maybe cutting grass or whatever you're doing, and you think you're doing better there.
It's low class jobs, Joby. They're all low
Exactly.
class jobs. They're all
Exactly.
they're all what Trump calls black jobs, Joby. Black jobs.
Exactly. Now you've been paid a few dollars because, of course, France can threaten any Negro who's living in their country and who's not beneficial, especially right now because they're not benefiting from the Negroes. I'm gonna be very, very brutal today. They're not benefiting from the Alliance Sahel state, and not just that, we've been seeing other countries, of course, also kicking them out, following the routine of kicking their military out of the country. So now you're given $100 or a few dollars. You're told, hey, we're going to protect you. All we want you to do is go against Ibrahim Traore and say this man is a dictator. For how long are you going to keep up with this game? And until you're kicked out, will France stand there for you and say, or are you going to go and say, oh, we stood up with you when you told us to do this? They don't care.
Exactly, Joby. They say we don't care. It's time for you to go.
This is just so sad to see that we're so far from understanding the reality of what is happening in the world and how we get used. It is evident, Black people, and we've been talking about it, the bootlickers who are put in these positions, not to stand for us, but to go against us. We were talking about the other guy, what is his name?
The
The general.
I forgot his name. Yeah, the bootlicking general. Yeah, they always use a bootlicking Negro like an Obama, this general, to go against other black people constantly. If they're gonna do war, they use a black man. If they're gonna try to be nice, they use a black woman. So this soft power is a black woman talking crazy to you. Hard power, it's a black man talking, threatening you. So they always use their bootlicking, buck dancing, butt broken coons to go against other black people. And so that's why black people got to stay strong, and you got to call out these people, because that's been the problem. Too many Africans have been traitors, have been dirt bags, and have dirt bag behavior. So they're going to protect. I'm telling you, white people now, you're not going to kill Ibrahim. I mean, you tried to assassinate him about 100 times now. You're not going to get to him. You're not going to change it. And the youth of Africa are coming there to join, to learn how to fight. You're not gonna. Your days of ruling Africa coming to an end. I know you can't see this, and that's why you're going after, because that's the wealth. See the con is coming to an end. Chinese are exposing your con that you don't make nothing. All your fake bags, your fake phones. It's all fake. There's no value in Europe. You can put your fake name on it, but you don't make it. So all your scams about being superior and all this stuff is not, and all the wealth that you had comes out of Africa. So now when Africa now finally rises up, it's going to be a problem. I've been said this is happening, this is coming. You're not stopping this. You Europeans are going back into poverty, and that's where you'll stay because you're wicked, you're uncaring, you're selfish. You haven't learned to come. You haven't learned to be humane, and that's what's going to hurt you. So you try to hold on to Africa while it slips out of your hands. You're not going to be able to hold on to Africa. Things work in cycles. You had your time in Africa. That short period of time, you should be happy, made you rich. But Africans are not supposed to be poor. I know you destroyed the African minds. They believe in all kind of wacky nonsense, but that's going away. Africans are not supposed to be poor. Not sitting on the richest continent on the planet, they're not. Poverty is not supposed to be something an African feels, and that's what's going to happen. So, as they understand this, poverty is going back to where it always been. With you in Europe, you've got no resources. You don't make nothing. What is you? The reason why you conquered the world because of your violence. Now everybody knows that you're violent, so everybody's hip to your game. So your violence won't be able to steal the world again anymore. And then you don't have the numbers.
The time is coming to an end. Their time is coming to an end. But before we get into the deeper roots of that conversation, I want to start with a few facts right here. Yesterday, we were checking some 8 iconic countries you can come visit, or places you can come see when you visit some other African countries. We checked on South Africa. We checked Zambia, Zimbabwe, Victoria Waterfalls. We checked Mount Kilimanjaro, which is in Tanzania. We saw the bamboo trees, which is in Madagascar. We also saw I can't remember the whatever church in Ethiopia, and a few things we did see. But today we're checking into Angola and Luanda.
It's called Lalibela, Joby. The Lalibela churches. After King Lalibela of Abyssinia. That's not that. Shout to the mixed dude getting all mad that people don't know how white people change their name. That's right. Ethiopia you see today is not Ethiopia. Those people you see, those are not Ethiopians. Joby would be considered the Ethiopian, not those people you see that they show in Ethiopia today. They switched the name. Okay, those are not ancient. So when you read your books and you think about Ethiopia, they're not talking about those people you see in today's Ethiopia. They'll be talking about a Joby, but that's on purpose. I know what they changed. That's on purpose. You're not that's what white people, they change history, try to steal it. Always these more white-looking people that were Ethiopia. No, it wasn't. Ethiopia was all south. What they would call south of the Sahara Desert. That's why the Atlantic Ocean was called the Ethiopic Ocean. But when white people got control, they changed it to the Atlantic. It was known as the Ethiopic Ocean out there by Nigeria and Ghana and all. But all this whole area from Kenya over, that was Ethiopia, not what you see today. Because I would say, why would this country Abyssinia change its name to Ethiopia? I think I know why. I know why. Go ahead.
All right. So we have Angola and Luanda, which have been mentioned to be one of the most expensive cities in the world, but locals live on less than $5.
One of the most expensive cities in the world because the Portuguese, the whites, have moved back in, exactly. and the whole government is corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
So all this still. Go ahead, Joby.
It says Luanda Sky high price aren't just about demand. They are a byproduct of an oil-fueled illusion. And after Angola's brutal civil war ended, billions of dollars pounded into the country through oil. The foreign companies flooded in, bringing expats who demanded luxury, security.
Exactly. Expats means the white people came back. As you know, you guys don't know, Angola's got a big white population.
And then I also remember the video we did some time back where we always have the white founders in most of the African countries. In most of the companies we have, if you look behind, it's never
never African. Always in a nice neighborhood. They build nice neighborhoods for themselves. As Joby, I think Joby did that show 2 years ago, showing the Angolan neighborhoods. They're real nice. But that was all white people. gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous neighborhoods, all white people. No, that was Joe. That was the Moray showing. That's right, the Moray. So we're looking at the Angolan neighborhoods. I'm like, wow, those neighborhoods are nice. They're all white people, all white. Nobody black.
So they say the city is adapted, but only for them. Imported goods, private housing, bottled water, and foreign brand restaurants started setting prices for completely different class. And meanwhile, locals lived a very different reality. The wealth never trickled down, and most people still rely on informal markets, commute hours just to find work, and survive without steady electricity or clean water.
Same thing over in Africa. You got a bum class of criminals who've taken over the country, sold out to white people. They live good. And while everybody in Angola lives in abject poverty, children. That's the scam. But why aren't the white people calling out Angola for not treating their people good? But even Traore's actually doing stuff, but he's the threat. See how the scam is? To lie.
Biggest scam. They're adding that a city where one person spends $500 a day while their neighbors lives off $2 a day. That's not just inequality. It's two separate worlds crammed into the same streets, and both are somehow called Rwanda. So this is crazy. It's the same we have in South Africa. We have the Oranians, who are living good. They have been stealing, literally, of course, like we've been saying, they've been getting funds through the South African government to do all this. And
do me a favor, Joe. So we put some contents in this. Do me a favor real quick. Go to YouTube real quick and say nice neighborhoods of Rwanda. Let's see what they look like. Let's go to Google, YouTube. Say nice neighborhoods of Rwanda, Angola. You see all the white neighborhoods. They got their black servants. Black people be servants again in their own country. They black maids, they black servants, but they don't pay them any money. And then the white people live like kings in Africa. See how that works? And the bootlicking criminal class that they've set these puppets, they don't care because they get their little piece of money. But the white people never call them out. Never. Look at this. Oh, yeah, right there. Do that, Joe. Yeah, there you go. Let's see how it looks for real. Let's see how it looks. So these are all the white homes, all the expats that moved back down to Angola. These people not living on $2 a day, Joby.
Rep the motherland. We post content regularly and invite you to subscribe and share if you're a pal. That's a Pan-African lifestyler.
There ain't no Pan-Africans living in there, lady. Isn't it funny? Africa can be rich for some people and poor for others. Isn't that funny? Africa can be rich for some people, normally white, but poor for other. So that lets you know Africa is not poor, but it's been given poverty to its people.
It's true, because for me, even me, trust me, I'm not toward Kenya, like literally. I always feel like, personally, being honest, I'm not toward Kenya yet, like completely. I've not even been into places, but there are places you look at, because especially right now, thanks to TikTok, you'll be able to see, they call them now hidden gems, right? So you'll be able to see places that, like, wow, is this Kenya?
There's beautiful places in Kenya. Of course Kenya? It is.
You're like, wow, this is just so crazy. This is just so beautiful. The houses, the architecture, the nature. It's like you're in a different country. So it's
like a different country, because that's the white Kenya.
You can be rich. Some people, like you say, some people can be rich, and some people can be poor in the same country, which is just so insane.
Neighborhoods are nice, boy. I live. Now look at that jibber jabber. Look like you in America. So if I didn't tell you that was African jibber jabber, you would say that's somewhere like in California, Florida, Georgia. You think that's a suburb outside of Atlanta, right? Looks like somewhere outside of Atlanta. No, that's Africa. Good. Nice roads, swimming pools. Look at that. Look at this. Whoever's living up there, then they're not living up to $2 a day. I tell you that. If I didn't tell you that was Africa, you wouldn't even know it. Say, where's that, Atlanta? Where's that, New York? Is that LA? Is that Texas? Is that Dallas, Houston? Where's that at? Houses are nice, boy. Living good. Somebody living good. Look at that. Somebody living good in Angola. Look at that, boy. Some nice neighborhoods. Somebody living good in Angola. Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. You wouldn't know that wasn't. You think that's somewhere in America? Some outside of Pittsburgh or something. Look how nice that is. Even Joey said, "Wow."
Apartments. I mean, this even like money apartments here in Kenya.
It looks like that looks like Miami or something right there, or LA. All the palm trees. And the white people are like, yes, we're back in Angola and we live good. We love it. We love it, black people. Because remember, white people they came to Africa to take it over, never to leave. That's what Africans want to say. They came to colonize, they came to get rid of you like they did the Australians. They were coming to replace Africans. They take the whole continent. They got the northern part and they got a lot of the southern part because of South Africa, but they got all the northern part from Egypt to Morocco. Nice trucks, all these neighborhoods around Rwanda, and I bet the majority are white. Why you say that, Kika? Joby just showed you all the expats that came back. I talked about this 8 years ago about all the expats came back. That's when I found out that my DNA went back to Angola. I said, man, there's a bunch of white people in this place. While you struggle on the other side of the city, living $2 a day, no water. I bet those, like Joey said, I bet those places got clean water. I bet those places got electricity.
Of course. Even solar. It's a place like solar panels, literally.
Yeah, solar panels, exactly. Nice greenery. Ain't no trash out there. Ain't all messed up. All clean. If you go on the African side, it's always full of garbage and filth and quiberas, all kind of crazy stuff. It just hurts my brain too. That's why it's one of the most expensive cities, not just in Africa. Rwanda is one of the most expensive cities in the world. Because these white people live like kings there, Jack. People think about South Africa and these other places. Go to Angola. They got half the city just gorgeous. I was like, what? This is absolutely insane. And it's these despot leaders that done it. But I don't hear that, saying nothing about the Angolan puppets. Because the white people live good there, that's why. Remember, Ibrahim Traore kicked out all the white people. Say, oh, y'all got to go. These Angolan puppets didn't do that. These bootlicking Angolan puppets. They don't mind seeing, like I said, that's an internal hate. They don't mind seeing the people all messed up while other people live good off their backs. It's all the wealth of Africa. This African wealth. Should nobody be poor in Africa? That's what I'm telling you. This wealth ain't coming from Europe that built that. That's African wealth. But it's distributed unfairly to white people and puppets, but not the African people who are African. It's the misdistribution of wealth. When people say Africa, Africa is poor. Africa is the richest place on the planet. The people may be poor, but Africa's not poor. You insane? There's not one poor part of Africa. None. If Africa had
Looks
heroes
like a
like Ibrahim
government.
Traore, you can try.
Yeah, this looks like a government project. So they're the ones also funding all these, estates, literally, that
I'm sure
enable
they
the
are,
white
Joe. I'm
to be
sure they are,
moving.
Joe.
Yeah.
Wait till on the white, yeah, wait till on the white people start. Why all the white people start coming back to Angola, Joe? Why? They don't they hate us? Why they start coming back?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Uh,
You don't recognize who we are, but yet you want to be in our presence. It's just insane.
it's
It's insane.
insane.
But only I love the way Africa is just waking up, because we saw recently that was the Namibia president saying if Africans need visa to actually enter Namibia, then so do the white people. I love that kind of
Right.
restriction. We also see, the Alliance Sahel state is working towards also the welcoming and working with these white people, as much as they're not really that brutal, because I've kind of noticed Ibrahim, as much as is true to the facts, is like he's still not trying to like tell white people, like, yes, he knows with their enemies, but he's not like saying we don't welcome you in our country and all that. But I feel like there should be strict measures right now.
Well, he did. He kicked them all out, Joby.
He did all of them out, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Kicked them out.
I've not seen that yet, but that's really amazing. That needs to be happening, like, to every African country that is claiming true independency. But as we get literally into that conversation of what is happening,
That's why they're coming after him, Joby. Kicked them out. Remember, he took back all his gold mines. Said no, only black people run this. You're not gonna have anything in there. You can't buy land. You white people can't buy land in Bikini. All that's done. All of it.
So yeah, I want to share this video, of course, as we see those people who are being paid, to demonstrate against Ibrahim Traore. This man has done nothing but just amazing, great work. Everyone is seeing it, So this is crazy. These are just some idiots and
it's not crazy, Joby. It's what the West does. If you know what the West does, you already gonna expect this. The same thing they do with Gaddafi.
Leave alone we know what the West does. What about the mindset of our people? Those are the people that I'm calling out. What about the mindset of our people?
Joby. It's always gonna be boot. It's always gonna be boot. Always gonna be bootlicking Africans, and if they're getting paid, that they're gonna do it. It's always gonna be bootlicking Africans.
Like Anita Ivy said, you need to get these people checked before you give birth to them. You need to you can't have a coon coming to represent you as your son here on this ground. You need revolution. This is just super insane. I'm super ashamed, being honest, personally, to see that we still have this kind of mindset. You're in a place where you're struggling to be African. I'm certain these Negroes who are demonstrating here, before they could become who they are right now in France, they face the most of the racism probably and the most of the hardships. Maybe getting a job, maybe getting some certain papers, or even settling where they're settling. There's someone who calls you a monkey.
Oh, of course.
I'm certain.
In France, you better believe that. Yeah. France.
But
yeah, Joe.
A few pounds to benefit. If you do this, we're gonna favor you. You're gonna stay in France for a while. You're gonna have citizenship. We're gonna consider you now as part of
exactly
some stupid promises. And then that's how you easily bought out. And you forget white people, they're not like you. White people can kick you out anytime and anytime. I feel like, Trump is just that he can't say all the Black Americans born in America should also disappear. He wishes he could say that.
Of course he does. Yeah, exactly, Joby. Yes, yes, Joby. Yes.
When we had which president was he? The first president, right? You said he wanted all the black.
No. He was the first. He was like the 16th. That was after the country had a civil war, Joe. The country went to war against each other, right? So that president said, "Oh, if I could, I can send all these Africans back to Africa. Said they had to get them out of here."
Imagine you're born, raised there. You've been contributed to the civilization.
The wealth, exactly. Built the wealth of the country. They try to say
you need to kick rocks.
Exactly.
Africa sometimes you need to wake up. You need to be given some, I don't know what in the head to wake up. Because this is a big shame. This is a proof to the world again how we can easily be divided no matter where we are. So long as you come from, and if you have this poverty mindset, I can easily buy you out. Take a couple dollars. All I want you to go against this person, and you're gonna get everything you need from me. Understand? I'm the white man, okay? I hold the most privileges more than your Negroes do, your brothers do. I put your brothers on. So are you gonna listen to me or listen to your
That's called this is what a psyop is, Judge. What I teach about this is a psychological operation that the CIA is doing. That's what you see in the streets. It's called a counter orange revolution. This is a psyop. That's what propaganda works.
Now, what I'd do if I was Ibrahim Traore, I don't know where these people are gonna go, which African country is gonna welcome them. But for you being a traitor, may you never claim yourself being a Burkinabe, okay? This from henceforth. Since you've chosen to go the France way, you become a citizen of France and forget your Africa. Forget about being associated with my name or our country.
Well, I'm not gonna know all those people out there who did it, Joe. So I'll never know. I never know those people, Joe.
I don't care. We will set up a rule that is gonna work to understand who are the traitors. We will, and that is what he's doing. I think you saw he set up cameras literally everywhere in the street.
Yeah, he did that. That was smart. He did that. Yes.
So he will.
Everything is working. But I won't know who's the traitor up there. There's too many people in the streets. I don't know who's out there protesting. So, go ahead.
We have an airport we're building under our own leadership, right? We have our own. We're getting our own planes, everything.
He's already got the planes.
Yeah, I have people who are working under loyalty, no corruption like what you have in Kenya. Give me chai so you can pass with your perfume. If not, I'm gonna take your perfume because it is expensive. Not that type of thing right here. Because I'm Kikuyu, you're Kikuyu, let me give you a free pass. No. Where are you coming from? For how long have you been there? That is the same thing, Where are you coming from?
I got you, Joe.
You're Burkinabe, okay. Where are you coming from? What have you been doing in France? What have you been participating in? We need to see. Come on.
That's true.
You're not playing with us,
After Captain Ibrahim Traore surviving multiple failed assassination attempts and coup plots.
Why they keep trying to kill him? They're not trying to kill none of these other puppets because they're puppets. You think they're trying to kill the puppet in Angola? No. Puppet in Nigeria? No. Puppet in Kenya? No. Why they keep trying to kill him? Because they know that. And just found out again another assassination attempt again, going back to the president of Cote d'Ivoire. This moron. That's right. That's right on the border of Burkina Faso. This puppet, we already known he was a puppet of Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire. Because these other Africans, see, there's danger. These other African leaders' families are going to suffer because I told you there's going to be a domino effect. Because in 10 years, they're not going to kill him. Burkina Faso will be Dubai in Africa. You won't, and you will not be able to defend what you've done in your bum-ass countries like Angola for 60 years of fake independence. You won't be able to explain this, and you're gonna have an eruption throughout Africa, and it's gonna sweep you and your families up out of there. Your families won't be able to go back to the countries of their origin. You puppets. If you're Kenyan, say goodbye. You're gonna be in Europe in poverty. Angola, whatever leader you are, you're gonna be swept from power, and your families, your immediate families, won't be able to stay in the country. Go ahead, Joby, because of the despicable things you've done.
Exactly. They need to get Ruto right now. Ruto, what he did just a few hours ago, he appointed Raila's nephew. Mind you, right now, of course, he's working with Raila. Raila is no longer supporting Kenyans in talking about how Ruto is such a bad leader, and all that. Nah, Raila is actually telling us, you want Ruto to go where? That is the question. You say Ruto where is Ruto going? So we have Ruto, who was appointed Raila's nephew, Jaoko Oburu Odinga, as his special advisor on economic empowerment and sustainable livelihoods. This is crazy.
Because his white the other guy's white handlers told him, "Hey, we need you right now to back Ruto, our boy, and don't cause division. We need you to back him." So he's been exposed as the fraud he's always been. We need you because the white man has told him, We need you to back Ruto right now because we need to keep him in power because he's doing our bidding. He's doing exactly what we need him to do. So your job is now to back. Your job is not to pretend to be a opposition leader. You're to put your influence behind him. But the youth are too smart for that now. They're like, nah, that ain't gonna work.
So nepotism, literally how it runs in the political, circle. Like, why not appoint someone from maybe a young university student who has studied, financial management or whatever literally you need advices on, pick a young student, go do your own research. You have people can do research on you, can find literally who has the right mindset, and get a young person, a youth who can, understand also what other people need or the youths understand. But no, we need a Raila. We need people who have been in this power. We need nepotism. That is what we need.
Shout out to you, Jim, but Joe, come on. What kind of cool are you? Wrong answer, bubble gum.
Crazy.
Is facing a new wave of criticism orchestrated from the streets of France, the very nation he has boldly challenged to relinquish its colonial grip on Africa.
It was orchestrated.
A few days ago, a small group of Burkinabe citizens took to the streets of Paris, waving placards and chanting slogans, demanding that Traore step down, branding him a dictator, and calling for a so-called democratic government. But let's pause and ask, who are these voices? And why have they chosen the soil of a former colonial master to air their grievances? Why not stand in Ouagadougou?
And why right now? Why right now? Why right now? It's been 2 years. Why right now? That's another question. Why right now? Oh, the US has been trying, the UN, the AU, the ECOWAS.
Exactly.
Tried sending their messages through the Western media. It's not been working. So you need your very own. We need to use this.
Exactly.
We need to use like that. That's what they're doing in Haiti. We need to use your fellow Africans so we can, create an image of it's not us. It is your people.
Exactly, Joby. That's how it works. That's right.
Not us, it's your people, but they're the ones behind the funds, because these are some people you find literally living probably in a house like a toilet in France.
You better believe they are.
Where did you get and then understanding how black people and then globally how we don't even have this kind of unity? Where did you get money to get a whole banner, microphone?
Exactly. Now you just figured it out. Exactly. Where'd the money come from? And the banners all professionally done.
Right now, all of a sudden, you're united. You care about. Come on.
Traore himself has declared the streets open for protest, even against his own leadership. Exactly. This is not just a story of dissent. It's a chapter in the long, painful history of Africa's fight for true sovereignty, a history that keeps repeating itself, yet one that...
Even T-shirts. Since when? Black people... Let's just be very, very honest again. It's like, let's just be honest amongst each other, like for real. We know it comes to unity and we see it. As Black people, it is a problem. And this is why we saw it being used against each other from America to Africa to where we are globally. So, I mean, all of a sudden now, because
they all got T-shirts and banners, Joe, but they cost money.
Wow. Why didn't you do this during the Black History Month? That was just a few months ago, 2 months ago. Like, why didn't you do this in February? Like, we as Black people in France, we feel like this is the, being the historical month of Black people. We don't want Ibrahim Traore. Why right now? Come on.
Traore is rewriting with unmatched courage and vision.
Exactly.
In a heartfelt speech just days ago, Captain Traore bared his soul to the people of Burkina Faso. A speech so raw and powerful, it left many in tears.
He said it's too real.
The continent. With unwavering conviction, he declared,
"Our only crime, perhaps, is trying to revolutionize our healthcare system, for example, to equip our hospitals, to build modern hospitals.
Modern hospital for good people.
Maybe our crime was wanting to revolutionize our educational system, to
build
schools up to standards, to change our curricula.
Yep. Throughout the Western curriculum, throughout the Western propaganda, mind control education, and throw it out. That's why he's a threat, guys. Took away the wigs. Hey, get rid of these wigs. Going back to
so that we can
Africa.
achieve food self-sufficiency. Or our crime might be wanting to build road and rail infrastructures so that our people can move around. In short, everything we try to do, I think some have always tried, unfortunately.
Keep Africa on the bottom.
Slaves, the Africans who blindly follow the imperialists have tried to discourage us. There is no reason to be demotivated, because history has always proven us right, and history will continue to prove us right. Today, so many things grow on our soil. When we initially announced that we wanted to embark on this agriculture, they thought we were crazy. They said it wouldn't work. Today, our cocoa is doing very well. Sunflower is thriving in Burkina. Our wheat is doing very well. In short,
these words are not just rhetoric. They are a battle cry for a Burkina Faso that dares to dream of independence, prosperity, and dignity. They are the words of a man who knows the weight of history, who understands that the path he treads is fraught with peril, yet refuses to bow. Let's be clear. Captain Ibrahim Traore is no stranger to danger. Since seizing power in a coup in September 2022, ousting the interim president Paul-Henri Damiba, Traore has faced a barrage of threats, assassination plots, coup attempts, and now this peculiar protest in France. Posts circulating on X claim he has survived no fewer than 18 assassination attempts in just over 2 years, a figure that, while unverified, speaks to the relentless pressure he endures.
More than that.
These threats come not only from within Burkina Faso, where factions of the military and disgruntled elites chafe at his reforms, but also from external forces, those who feel humiliated by this young leader's audacity to expel foreign troops and demand control over his nation's resources. France, in particular, has been a focal point of Traore's ire. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso has severed military ties with its former colonial power, expelling French troops and diplomats accused of meddling in the country's affairs. In January 2023, crowds in Ouagadougou waved Russian flags and held signs reading, "France's army, get out," a clear signal of the shifting tides in Burkina Faso's geopolitics. The protest in Paris, though small, raises troubling questions. Why would Burkinabe citizens travel thousands of miles to demonstrate in France?
They're not traveling, they live there. They're traveling, they live there. These are the bootlegger Negroes who, like Joby said, who ran from France. These Negroes live in France. He's about travel. They live there.
Political interference. Traore himself has been vocal about France's neo-colonial tactics, famously rebuking French President Emmanuel Macron in January 2025 for suggesting that African leaders owed France gratitude for its anti-terrorism efforts. Macron is insulting all Africans, Traore declared, urging the continent to fight against imperialism and decolonize mentalities. Yet, this group of protesters chose Paris as their stage, calling for Traore's ouster and the return of a democratic system, a system that, under previous regimes, left Burkina Faso mired in insecurity, poverty, and
poverty.
dependence.
Exactly, poverty with nothing.
Traore has repeatedly
go back to the system that kept us poor and ignorant. Please, I'm in the streets. We're in the streets where white people control all our resources and they get rich, and we stay poor and stupid. Let's go back to that. That's your protest.
Imagine. Make it make sense. Let's make it make sense. This is just
welcome in Burkina Faso, even those against him. So why Paris? Could it be that
that's why you are a beggar in France, literally. This is why you are a beggar. I'm gonna call you a beggar in France. This is why you're there begging for France to listen to you. So that this is just so crazy. This is just insane.
These voices are amplified by external forces uncomfortable with Traore's vision of a self-reliant Africa.
Small-funded bottles of water, as if you can't get yourself water, and some bullshit you have on your head.
History whispers a familiar tune here. Lumumba, Sankara, Gaddafi all face similar accusations of tyranny from abroad when they dare to challenge the global order.
It's the same thing. Exactly, it's the same scam.
We must look to the past, for history indeed repeats itself.
Exactly. If you know what they do, it's the same scam. But they did the same thing. Thomas Sankara, and it finally got enough where they paid off his friend who came and killed him, murdered him, and he became president for 35 years until they overthrew his trifling butt. And he's now hid out in in Cote d'Ivoire, talking about, please forgive me, I was wrong for killing my best friend. Please. As soon as he killed him, he said, no, what did he do? Oh, he went and got himself a private jet, a big car, and he's down the big head Negro. That's what this moron did.
As they do, as always.
I know, exactly, Joe.
Revolutionary leader assassinated in 1987 is Traore's spiritual predecessor. Like Traore, Sankara was young, just 33 when he took power in 1983. Like Traore, he sought to break the chains of neo-colonialism, renaming the country from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, meaning land of upright people. Sankara's policies, land reform, women's rights, education, and self-sufficiency threatened Western interests, particularly France's.
Pause it, Joby. Isn't it funny? Us having women's rights, being able to grow food, be able to take control of our own resources, threaten these other white people. So they're parasites. They've got rich up out just doing regular things that all countries are able to do. But Africans have not been allowed to do it because you are the wealth of the planet. That's what I want to teach you this. You are the wealth of the planet. So the thing is to keep you backward, dumb, poor, ignorant, and get a puppets a good life while everybody stays in poverty. And when you get somebody like a Thomas Sankara, Ibrahim Traore says, no, we're rich, and all our stuff should be for us. Now you're a threat. You're a threat to them, who's been what? Parasite. It's like a tick sucking your blood. That's what Europeans are. They're ticks sucking the blood off the African, who's like the cattle in the grazing fields and stuff, right? They feed off of us. Without us, there is no Europe. Europe is poor. That's a scam. That's the dirty scam. Europe has always been poor. Go ahead, Joby.
Widely believed to have been orchestrated with foreign complicity, left Burkina Faso vulnerable to decades of exploitation. Traore, often compared to Sankara, knows this history intimately. In his speeches, he invokes the spirit of his mentor, declaring that Burkina Faso will no longer be a pawn in the games of imperial powers. But unlike Sankara, Traore has learned to play a different game, one of calculated defiance, strategic alliances, and grassroots support.
He's less naive. Thomas Sankara was a little more naive because he didn't understand the mind of white people, how brutal, how savage they are. He didn't understand that. So you learn from what happened, what came before. So even Traore being a student of history, so okay, if I implement the policies that came before me, I must set up a certain system or I'm not going to be murdered immediately. So I gotta know how to maneuver myself. Go ahead, Joe.
I feel like he might have been maybe young during the leadership of Thomas Sankara.
He wasn't even living, Joe. He wasn't even alive. He's only 36 now. Thomas Sankara died they murdered 40 years ago.
But whether he learned the history, whatever he learned, but talking about the strategic moves or the strategic alliance, I think also personally spoke about it. I was like, he really has a clear vision. He's not moving blindly. Yeah. Just because I've now taken power, I don't have a move on what I'm supposed to do next. Because
he's moving faster than any leader I've ever seen in my life. He's moving so fast with he's building everything all at once. It's not like he's like, I just need to do this, do that. He's doing it all at once, and he's doing it with their own money. They owe nobody nothing, Joby. There's no debt to Burkina Faso. And I was see, why is the IMF and the World Bank? Hey, you want some money? You want some of my money? You want to take our money? Can you please take our money? No, you keep your fake money.
Exactly. That's how you return yourself to the programming of being enslaved.
Exactly, Joby. So that's he's broke the fake small hat money scam. Like, nah, you keep your fake money. I got the real gold here. I'll fund everything from my resources.
And he has support from the people too, because
exactly
military trying to be paid off, for them to assassinate him.
Assassinate him.
into work. The people also have his back. It's just amazing to see.
Exactly. Imagine this bootlicking buck dancing general. Hey, he's going against his people and the people love him. What are you talking about? Sound crazy. Just make up any old kind of that. That's how you know the scam is. Go ahead, Joby.
Tactics are giving his detractors sleepless nights. Where Sankara's idealism sometimes outpaced his pragmatism, Traore combines vision with cunning. He has diversified Burkina Faso's partnerships, strengthening ties with Russia, China, and Turkey, while rejecting Western dominance. He has expelled French troops and media outlets like
and the media. Get all the white media out of here.
He has also cracked down on internal dissent, not through wanton repression, but through a calculated amnesty for past coup plotters, like General Gilbert Diendere, whose military expertise he seeks to harness against jihadist insurgents. This move, though controversial, shows Traore's willingness to unite even his adversaries for the greater good of Burkina Faso. And then there's his focus on the people. Unlike many leaders who cling to power for personal gain, Traore's policies are rooted in tangible progress. He has distributed tractors, tillers, and motorcycles to farmers, reducing the cost of fertilizer and ploughing to boost agricultural output. The results speak for themselves. Cocoa, sunflower, and wheat production.
Pauses. And see, they hate his influence. What he did, they didn't tell on the news. He's taking all this food. Now, there's no starving in Burkina Faso because he just did the right thing, right? So now all this food has been taken to neighboring countries for free. Chad, Sierra Leone, what else? Central African Republic, and a few more others, like 9 countries that Burkina Faso. So we don't need no USAID. We need brotherhood among Africans. So Burkina Faso is now feeding other African nations for free. They don't need your aid because should nobody be starving in Africa? You had the most irritable lands. So and part of Burkina Faso is a desert. All you do is develop it. So now he's allowing you to develop what the Europeans never want you to do. They never want you to feed yourselves. There's always some scam with them. So when he developed that, he's the one giving free food to all the other African nations because you're one people. It's brotherhood. He say, what tribe are you in this country here? What tribe? He's been giving out free food. But you haven't heard that on none of the news because they don't want that out there. Go ahead, Joby.
Defying skeptics who once called his agricultural ambitions crazy.
Yeah,
People
crazy.
of Burkina Faso see this progress, and they have made their voices heard. In May 2024, when Traore announced a 5-year extension of military rule, citing ongoing insecurity, there were murmurs of discontent. Yet, when rumors surfaced that he might step down,
the people begged him to stay.
Erupted with thousands of supporters chanting.
They hate him, but they beg him to stay. They hate him, but his people beg him. Get out of here.
This was no staged rally. It was
exactly
a
what staged. It was real.
Loyalty to a leader who, in their eyes,
it wasn't what you seen in France, all fake and staged. This is real. Wasn't the fake one you see up in France with 5 people with what they paid for T-shirts and they things around their head and this is a real. This is spontaneous. Nah, we don't want you to go nowhere. What you doing? No, we need you here.
No drinking water bottles, funded by them. Thirsty, become thirsty. We don't worry. We'll go back drink water at home. We have an agenda.
Yeah, exactly right. You see those guys. They got no planned bottled water out there. Exactly.
Just flat. Unity right here.
Traore's popularity stems not from propaganda, but from results. New roads, upgraded hospitals, and a gold mine inaugurated in 2023 to process the nation's resources locally, boosting GDP. The Samandani hydroelectric dam, a project long stalled under previous regimes, is now advancing under Traore's watch, promising energy security and agricultural growth.
That means we have energy security. Won't be no more lights out in Burkina Faso. See, white people love that power out stuff because you can't develop. So he's telling you he's developing this so there will be no more power outages ever in Burkina Faso. Won't be no got lights one day, lights off. That's over. That means now he can now develop manufacturing on a consistent basis because take all the minerals in Africa and I build it here. I'm not taking it to China, not taking it to Europe, I'm not taking it to America. We're going to build it here. The wealth is going to stay here. It's in the ground here. We'll dig it up and we'll build here. We got lights and everything we need here. So Africa will become wealthy again.
Man determined to drag his nation into the 21st century, kicking and screaming if necessary. So why the protest in France?
Africa ain't supposed to be 50, 100 years behind.
Choose to align with a narrative that paints Traore as a villain. Perhaps they are genuine in their desire for democracy, disillusioned by the junta's delay in holding elections. Burkina Faso's transition to civilian rule was initially set for July 2024, but Traore has pushed it back to 2029, arguing that elections cannot be held while jihadist groups control nearly half the country. Critics accuse him of using insecurity as an excuse to cling to power, a charge that carries weight given the region's history of juntas overstaying their welcome. Yet, Traore's supporters counter that democracy as practiced under Western-backed regimes delivered little but chaos and corruption. No country has developed under democracy, Traore boldly stated in April 2025.
Not in Africa,
shared by
not
many
one.
Across Africa.
Not one Africa democracy is developed. Not one. Show me one developed country in Black Africa. There's not one under no democracy. Not Kenya, not Nigeria, not one. All African countries are 50, 60, 70 years behind. So tell me that he's right. Because he's a student. Show me this great democracy where Africa stays underdeveloped. Go ahead, Joe.
The models of governance as ill-suited to the continent's realities. Alternatively, the Paris protest could be a symptom of manipulation. A playbook as old as colonialism itself.
Exactly, it's old.
France's influence in Africa has waned, with Mali, Niger, and Chad also expelling French forces in recent years. The protesters may be unwitting pawns, their grievances amplified by foreign actors eager to destabilize.
They're not unwitting pawns. They are pawns. They're not unwitting. These pawns, they know they're pawns. They're not unwitting. They're not stupid. They're not unwitting pawns. That's why you guys, chess game. You got to start learning chess. Chess moves created by the African, and they're funny. Chess is created by the African. This game of knowledge and intelligence called being a pawn. Yeah, they're pawns, but they're not unwitting, unknowing pawns. They know they're pawns, and they're willing pawns. Joe said these are traitors to African people. They know what they're doing, and they're doing without a problem. They're not being fooled. They know it. Go ahead, Joe.
After all, how did such a small group secure the means to travel to Paris, a city where visas and logistics are no small feat for ordinary Burkinabe?
Exactly. Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Just because you got you collected some few, you struggle literally your whole life. You've seen others are, oh my God, are you getting scammed so that you can get your way to France or Canada? Probably you got scammed 100 times so that you can pave your way here before you got a real agent who, you dropped your ass right there. And now look at you. You think you made it. You think you made it, just like Jibba Jabba said. You have a red ribbon looking like a mole. Now you think, I'm the Negro here. I'm the one who, oh no.
And why protest there when Traore has invited dissent at home? These questions linger, unanswered, casting a shadow over the demonstration's motives. History's echoes are unmistakable. Patrice Lumumba, Congo's fiery independence leader, was toppled and killed in 1961 after refusing to bow to Western demands.
Western power. They threw him an axe.
Ghana's Pan-Africanist icon
was
overthrown in 1966 with CIA backing. Muammar Gaddafi, Libya's controversial strongman,
was murdered by the CIA
in 2011 amid NATO's intervention.
They dragged him to the street.
The narrative was the same: a leader branded a dictator, a threat to democracy. When their true
pauses. And the Libyans under this dude's rule was they had free education, free housing, great lives, and now the country's destroyed because he was the dictator, right? All the lies they told. Now the Libyans are crying because they fell to the propaganda. They believed that Nazi but Gaddafi should have got rid of all the fake media in his country. That's what he messed up on. Now Libya is a failed state and one of the poorest countries. Like that time, Libya was the richest country in Africa, the richest. Okay, So now it's the most poor because the white people supposed to keep. We wanted to free the all that fake scam they do. That's what that black bootlick is doing again. They just the same playbook they do because Ibrahim is going to make Burkina Faso rich. That's happening. Now, oh, he's a threat to his own people. Same thing they did, like he should say, they did with Gaddafi. It's a scam. People in Libya live one of the greatest lives on the planet. Free health care, free education, great lives, everything modern. Now you look at Libya today, it's got open slave market. It's a basket case. It's destroyed. It's a failed country. Well, the white people talking about it? Of course not. Of course not. So when they get to talking the same thing, it's the same playbook. Know what you're looking at, the same fake protest. And they did with Gaddafi is all fake. And it's Burkina Faso is a threat to his people. And you got all these puppets in Africa don't do shit for their people. Can't tell if Africans live in abject poverty. You're not saying nothing about them because they're the puppets, giving Europeans their money. But the one who's not, he's a threat. You see all the people cheering at Joe Biden show in the street, loving this man. He's a threat to the people. He's a threat. The scams don't work no more because people are up. You've done it too many times, America. You've done the same scam too many times. And people know it now. Go ahead, Joby.
I was to say, if you look at the Alliance Sahel state, that is Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Actually, if you look at Ibrahim Traore is the most hardworking, literally leader amongst the three. I don't know if it makes sense. As much as we've seen Niger,
I think he's the fastest one of the three. It's about mindset. What is I think he's the most educated one amongst the three. How to move, see things, how to move systems, Joby. So you gotta have good managerial skills, and even Traore is highly educated. So you must have good managerial skills to put things in order. Just because you want to do it, I mean you have the knowledge to do it, Joby. So, and since he might not have the same knowledge base that he has in understanding systems, so he understands systems and how to put systems in motion. So just because you have ideals, Joe, I mean you can do them because you understand how the systems are done. That's why that makes this man such a genius, young man such a genius. He understands the systems and he's putting systems and say, okay, this is what I'm gonna allow, this is what I'm not. Like I said, he's building a new same thing Gaddafi did. He's been a new ravine all throughout Burkina Faso to make growing food even 10 times higher to get 3 harvests a year, right? So that system, he's already got the money already, he said, so he knows this how long it should take, right? It should take 5-10 years. They say you do it 8 months or you're fired. You will not be allowed to come in Burkina Faso and build anything. These are the terms. You get paid this much, you will not be a penny over, and it will be 8 months in completion. So he understands systems, how to maneuver and build systems. So you gotta be good managerial, Joe. Everybody's good. Everybody's a great manager, Joe. Because I lead a country. That means I know how to manage people and equipment and time. He's showing that he can because he's got so many balls up in the air and these things are being completed. The phone factories completed. I forgot about the noodle factories. All that stuff's completed. The airplane hub where they're building airplanes, that's completed. The hospitals are now being built all over the country. I'm not talking about no hospital. I'm talking about state of the art. The Western, the good hospitals that they fly to India. He's building them in Burkina Faso around everywhere, and they're getting built. They're getting completed. He built a pharmaceutical factory in Burkina Faso, completed. So he understands systems, Joby, how to make things work. That means you got good managerial skills. Because you lead them, you know how to manage nothing, you know how to put something together. So that's he's doing innovating, he's doing it, and he's saying because he knows people are gonna want results faster because they've been lied to for 200 years since this white man showed up. So he's giving them results quick, boom, boom, and then the farming. I can't tell about all the farming that they've done, all excess food they have. They've been shipping food out already. So now you got abundance of food in Burkina Faso, Joe. We ain't talking. I'm not talking about this. Also, all the house building. He's giving free housing away. This man has now made school free, mandatory. No one goes without an education now. It's free. No more school fees. So he's doing so much stuff, it's boggling my mind because he understands this. Like, damn.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see. Shout out to Burkina Faso people. Like, we're happy for you guys. Congratulations for the new experiences that literally are, unveiling themselves through Ibrahim Traore. Shout out to
That's
him.
why he's a threat to all. That's why he's a threat to all the puppets, Joby. They won't have no excuse, and he's doing it without the IMF, the World Bank. So he owes nobody nothing.
Shout out to him for being also courageous, because this is something we keep on talking about when it comes to our leaders, not presenting yourself as a
not being cowards. That's what he said.
Around, and meaning your words and understanding who you are and the power you hold in your country and with your people when it comes to your people. So I really
that's what he said. That's what he said, Joe. He said they've made African people cowards. We got to stop that. They said the main thing, we got to stop cowardice in Africa. They made African people cowards. They keep coming to me trying to tell me, well, they did like this, you see what happened to them. They did like this, see what happened to them. This is the white people telling, yeah, we're going to kill you. He said, you do whatever you want to do. Because I'm going to live on my feet, not on my knees. I'm going to continue to do what I'm going to do. And he said, and he's honest, no matter, even if you kill him, white people, what you didn't put inside the people, you're not going to get no corrupt people. And then you're not going to allow one of your puppets to take over that country no more. Because the spirit is already out there. You're not going to be allowed to go back to put another puppet in there and do business as usual. So now we're going to go back to school fees. No, they've already started experiencing the good life. Then they'll go back to your system of poverty, of not having good hospitals. They'll go back to that. They'll revolt and you'll be a revolution. And the puppet you put in will be dragged through the street and murdered. You're not going back to poverty. Once they see what the African had to see, that this is what they deserve. Africans always believe they deserve to be poor and they don't stupid religions. Once they see now, this is what we really deserve. We can have good hospitals, good schools, good. Oh, I forgot, and all the all the transportation buses he bought and said, "Hey, these are going to be for free." What? What? I ain't going to bus. Going to work for free?
Exactly. No more being pushed outside the matatu when it's moving, then you die because you didn't pay,
Yeah, none of that. All brand new state-of-the-art buses. So once I'm given this and I'm given a country that actually works on my behalf, I'm not going back to no BS. No bullshit. I'm not going back to school fees and things don't work and lights going. He's getting them lights. You think I'm gonna go back? You think I'm in Burkina Faso? Now I've been having lights. I'm gonna go sit in the dark again.
No more going back to this. As we literally were in the app, we're gonna be winding up with what is happening in Haiti. As we see, of course, this is the same bullshit they have been trying in the land Sahel states. The UN is warning all. The crises are getting worse. The citizens' lives are in jeopardy because right now the juntas are in control. Look at the Haitian.
Why are the juntas in control? Because they stole the wealth. The Europeans created this. They came into Haiti and stole all its wealth, killed the leaders, put puppets in, and then try to say, "Oh, look at Haiti. Why is this happening?" Because they make billions of dollars out of Haiti, guys. Don't think this happened. They got Haiti as a sweatshop where they make cheap goods for the West. It's a sweatshop where they don't want to pay these people nothing, keep them in poverty. And as Joby showed you a year ago, we have all these resorts in Haiti that white people still come to. They never show you those. Why aren't none of those resorts that Joby, those beautiful resorts in Haiti? I want after Joby show. Before we let Joby go back and show those resorts again. We're gonna juxtapose this because you see all this death and destruction. Well, how are these beautiful resorts still existing in Haiti? And you see white people down there enjoying it. You don't see black people. It's the white people all on the beaches, having good food, living good, while they caused all this right here. Because this is Africa. This ain't This Africa 2.0. Haiti is Africa. The African people being treated the same as every African nation. Go ahead, Joby.
Further out of control, violence has intensified, sowing panic and fear among the Haitian population. Addressing the Security Council, the UN Special Representative
And then you ask yourself,
stressed the
Haiti's an
urgent
island. Where did the juntas get the weapons from? Who bought them the weapons? They ain't got no jobs. Where did the juntas get the weapons from? These gangs. Where did the weapons come from? They don't got no job to pay. It's an island. Who shipped them in there? They don't own no ships. So understand, it's the Europeans doing this. Gotta ask just critical questions. Haiti's an island. They don't make no weapons in Haiti. So how do weapons get into the island? And who's buying them? Who's putting them in there? They causing this so they can steal out of Haiti, same way they do in Africa. It's the same scam, guys. Go ahead, Joby.
Support, calling attention to the worsening humanitarian crisis.
Haiti's humanitarian crisis
humanitarian.
has level.
Bullshit. This is just some BS, Having all white people talking about humanitarian crisis.
Exactly. Do this for me again, Joe, before we leave. Let's go to YouTube and say the Haitian resorts. Haitian resorts. That's all the white people there swimming, having a good time. Yeah. This is Haiti right now. That's what they. Oh, Joby, Joby, pause that. Why they not shooting and killing right there, Joby? Why they not shooting and killing and blowing up stuff right there, Joby? Why not? Why not?
Damn, I'm laughing to the video.
That's okay, but that's Haiti too, Joby. That's Haiti too, Joby. That's Haiti right now today, Joby. That's Haiti right there, Joby. Where's the death and destruction there? And you know who's living there, Joby. You know who's living there. Look at that, Joby. Where the guns there, Joby? Oh, look at another pool. You know who's there, Joby. They're not the black people of Haiti. I tell you that. This is Haiti, Joby. No, this ain't it. But this ain't the Haiti they show you. This is not the Haiti they show you, is it, Joby? That's not the Haiti they show you. And I bet the Kenyan police are not there either. I bet the Kenyan police are not nowhere near that.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. And also,
it's crazy.
It's insane because you won't see that on the media. It's just the fact, when you go, even when you Google most of the things about Africa, the first thing or the images you see is poverty of those places.
That's what shows Haiti. That's right. Haiti.
It's crazy. It's just insane. But anyway, family, we're literally coming to the end of today's conversation. Go to Haiti. You'll see these amazing places. Just don't go near the gang. Don't go near the gangs. Don't go near the Kenyan troops. They don't like that.
Even Jibba Jabba said, "Damn, that's right." See, you don't even know that's in Haiti, but the white people do. They know they're the ones that's there. They're the ones chilling, having a good time. Okay, they're the ones stealing the wealth out the country. They know it's there. They ain't showing you in the news. That's why even Joe said, "Damn, too." That's right. That's right.
Or the bombo clats. What the bombo clat. They're there in the big saying, "What the bombo clat." But anyway, family, much love. We're coming to the end of today's conversation.
Much love, fam.
I think literally all the comments, we've roughly gone through them on a lighter note. But thank you so much, Jiba Jabba, for tuning in. Thank you, Byron Scott. I see you, and to all the silent listeners who have been there behind the camera. or behind the chat. Thank you so much for literally tuning in this morning. To all the listeners on BitChute, leave your comments behind. You know, you can see the beauty in Haiti, you can see the beauty in Africa. So can you talk about that too?
Yeah.
Talking some negative things as always. Much
No,
love.
they're not gonna stop that. you can't tell a chimp to stop chimpanzeeing, Joby.
Oh my goodness, I know
That's right. That's
Oh,
right. You see what happened to that lady when she tried to stop that chimp and tore her face off.
no. Oh no, don't remind me that. Oh,
I had to get you with that.
God, I'm about to throw you out on that. She about to be messed up. Family.
Remember Joey seen that lady? I said, "Oh my God."